is one of the biggest things to happen in the jewelry world in a very, very long time. Sunday morning, everybody woke up, and at approximately 9:30 in the morning, the Louvre was broken into. And then they stole some of the most phenomenal jewels the world has ever seen. Some of the most significant diamonds in history, and some of the most beautiful historic pieces in the French royal jewels. Here's my hot take. These items that were taken, these were taken by somebody that has a plan that's personally invested in these pieces as is. The reporting from various news outlets has focused on how these pieces are going to be broken up. It says over and over and over again, it is only a matter of time. With every passing hour, it becomes more likely that these diamonds and gemstones are going to be cut out of the jewelry pieces, the metal's going to be melted down for the value, and that these stones are going to be either recut or sold separately on the black market.
Unfortunately, we're now in a race against time. The criminals are going to try to hide what they have just done, and by the way they hide it is by breaking up those jewels, by recutting those stones, by melting down the precious metals, and making them completely unintelligible. You won't be able to locate them or use them as evidence. So they are now doing that. And the police have a very short window to locate these thieves and try to recover these items. Now thieves, the gangs that are operating today are just trying to break them up for cash.
Most likely they will try to get rid of it as soon as possible, dismantle these jewels, melt stuff down. So it's a race against time.
I don't buy it. Many of these pieces were made out of silver. When they were making these pieces, silver was as valuable as gold, and so in the finest jewelry pieces, they would use silver. And so you see that in many of these pieces. Many of these pieces are silver. Gold value is sky high today, but silver's a different story. And I don't buy it. I'm not buying that they're gonna melt these pieces down, forget it. Also, you have a lot of rose-cut stones. Now, a rose-cut stone is one of these antique cuts. They were doing the best they could with tools that they had, and they didn't have the technology that we have today. So you saw a lot of these rose-cut diamonds. This was a very old way of cutting stones. And when you recut a rose cut, you are not left with much depth. So you are limited in the size of diamond that you're able to cut. If you took all of these diamonds, all of these rose cuts, there were over 1,000 rose cut diamonds. If you popped those out and had them recut, what are you left with? You're left with what, melee? Or it's worthless. In comparison to the original stones, the historic stones, that's not where the value is. It's just not feasible to recut a lot of these stones. And so when I think about it that way, I think this was a crime of passion. I'm betting that this crime is not a crime driven by money. In other words, there's no way that you would get enough out of cutting down these pieces, out of chopping these pieces apart and cutting down the stones and trying to sell them on the black market. It would take too long to do, number one. It would be too big of a risk, and you wouldn't get hardly anything out of it, just based on like the intrinsic value of the pieces parted out by themselves. This crime was motivated by passion and obsession. I'm willing to bet the person behind this heist has a deep vetted interest in the historical significance of these pieces. To truly appreciate the rarity and the value of Empress Eugénie's crown with these beautiful natural pearls, we have to talk about natural pearls for a moment, because at the time that this crown would have been made, just collecting these pearls, 212 natural pearls of this size and stature and quality, it's really, when I say next to impossible, I cannot stress enough how rare it is to see these pearls. Each pearl has to occur naturally. These aren't cultured pearls. Cultured pearls are great. They're made under controlled conditions, and they are so much more plentiful and abundant. So the value of these natural pearls, both back then, at the time that this piece would have been made, and now, today, is sky high. These are very, very rare, very expensive pearls. There's not another piece of jewelry in the entire world like it, hands down. This would have been, this was a major statement piece. It was extremely, extremely significant, and it was a major flex that Napoleon put this piece together knowing the legend and mystery and mystique around these giant natural pearls. And boy, oh boy, these are big. These are big, big natural pearls. But when you think about some of the most famous tall tales of history that Napoleon absolutely would have known about when he was constructing or having his royal jewelers construct this amazing tiara, he would have known for sure about the legend of Cleopatra, where she took one of her earrings, very famously a pearl earring, and dissolved it in a glass of wine, and then bragged to Mark Antony that she was drinking a glass of wine more expensive than his entire kingdom because she had dissolved her natural pearl earring in this glass of wine. Everybody wants to see these irreplaceable items recovered and safely returned, including me. The value of these items is not in the materials themselves, but in the unbelievably rich history and cultural significance that these items have for the people of France. We have breaking news. As I mentioned before, this is still a developing story. Well, French police have arrested and have in custody 2 of the jewelry thieves from the Louvre Heist. How did they do it? Well, they collected over 150 samples of DNA from the scene of the crime, including one motorcycle helmet from which they took a DNA sample, and also, I believe, a worker's vest that one of the thieves wore, also some samples from inside the gallery as well. And they analyzed all of these samples, some of which were probably from museum guests, I would imagine, or docents or other people that belonged there that were not related at all, but they took all of the samples that they could and they followed up on every single sample. These 2 particular samples led them back to people that had been involved in previous jewelry heists. So they started tracking their phones, they tracked their communication, and as they heard that these 2 particular suspects were about to leave the country, they rushed in and arrested them at the airport before they could leave. Now, none of the jewelry has been recovered, but they do have 2 confirmed known thieves involved in the heist. Also of note, it has been released that there was no CCTV camera on the entrance in which the thieves came through. The window that they all climbed through to get into the Apollo Gallery did not have a camera on it at all. Or if it did, the camera was not working. So to me, that also suggests that maybe the thieves had an accomplice on the inside at the museum. So again, the jewels have not been recovered, and I think the French police are probably being a little bit more careful about the information that they release, especially to the media. But hopefully, because these jewels are a national treasure and a part of France's history that is absolutely irreplaceable, hopefully they will be recovered very soon. Again, I'm Leigh-Anne Brown. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit us up in the comments below. Let us know if there are any hot topics that you'd like us to feature next.